Hello everyone, welcome back to the another session in Principles of Programming Languages. This video is going to cover the last topic of 4th unit, and the last topic is about logic programming. Now let's understand about what is the logic programming and how it is built, what are the main features of logic programming, how programming will be done. All these kind of issues we'll cover in this video. So basically when I say it is a logic programming, you might have understood about that the programming will run through a logic. So that logic is what? We'll write some prepositions, and whether the statement what I am writing, it may be a true or it may be a false. So this true and false things will be from a declarative statement. As far as it is a logical programming, we don't have any kind of declarative semantics. That means of intrinsic semantics we don't have. So basically semantic is what the meaning of the statement. So we don't have a particular meaning. Whatever preposition you made from the instruction, that will be the thing what you are getting out of the declarative semantic. Now let's see the prepositions, what kind of prepositions we made and what kind of operators we do have in the logic programming. So basically a preposition can be a thought of as a logical statement that it is may or may not be true. It consists of objects and relationship among the objects. Let's say I'll give an example for the better understanding. Now I'm just writing man, and here I'm just writing the ferry. Now ferry is what a name of the person. Now I'm just giving man over here. The way you have to understand logic programming is, this will be the relationship, this will be the parameter. Now you say that man is ferry or else ferry is a man. Fine. If I give something the other two parameters, and it doesn't have any constraint that the parameters list of only one or two, it depends upon the user requirement. As many as parameters he wanted to give or she wanted to give, they can give here in this matter. And this is what the relationship what you can do it. Fine. Now, so symbolic logic can be used for the three basic needs of formal logic: to express prepositions, to express the relationships between prepositions, and to describe how new prepositions can be inferred from other prepositions that are assumed to be true. We'll see an example for the better understanding. Let's say that mother ferry, Jom. Now, so this is what a preposition what I have made. This preposition will be having a parameters, will be having a relationship. So the relationship is what here mother. Whatever you write over here, it is a relationship, and whatever you write over here, it is a parameter. The way what prepositions I can make is, the preposition is ferry is a mother. We just take the other color to the identification. Ferry is a mother of Jom. It is one preposition. And ferry and Jom are both are mothers, or else Jom is a mother of ferry. These are what three prepositions I can made from this. So in the first video only, I told you clearly that we don't have any intrinsic semantic. That means whatever semantic you thought that can be, it may not be, it is fixed, right? So we don't have any declarative semantic. You can generate number of relations, number of prepositions. So the simplest preposition, which are called automatic prepositions, consists of compound terms. A compound term is one element of a mathematical relation written in a form that has the appearance of mathematical function notation. Now we'll see about this mathematical notations, what basically we'll use in the logic programming. So we'll be going to introduce a logic programming name as Prolog. Prolog is the logic programming, and you say when you write Prolog like this, so Prolog is what you have to sound as logic programming. So this LOG stands for logic, the pro is programming, logic programming. So now a compound term is composed of two parts. The two parts are what? Functor and a compound term. Functor will give you the relationship, compound term will give you the number of parameters. Let's say man Jake like Bob Steek. Now the parameters are, Jake is a parameter, Bob and Steek are the parameters. So man and like are the functors. And so which state that Jake is one tuple in the relation named man and Bob Steek are two tuples. And you can see this preposition man Fred. So to the previous proposition, then the relation man would have two distinct elements, Jake and Fred. So this is the way how you have to write the semantics to the Prolog language. Now we use some kind of symbols. We say those are what? Modes. So the way how you have to write the semantical things in the programming, that part we see. Prepositions can be stated in two modes. One is in which the preposition is defined to be true, and one in which the truth of the preposition is something that is to be determined. In other words, prepositions can be stated to be facts or queries. So there are some relations what we can identify. Negation is symbol something like this, and we say it is not A. Conjunction symbol is we use this symbol AXB, A and B we say it. Disjunction is represented with H, AHB or ARB. Equivalence will represent with K, and we say it is AKB. It is what? A is equivalent to B. Implication we use this symbol. We say that as A implies B and B implies A. So these kind of relations will be going to find in the Prolog programming. Now let's see how these statements we will use in the programming. Now if I wanted to write a declarative semantic in the Prolog, so I am going to take some P1, P2, Q1, Q2. I will be taking the imply symbol. P1 implies P2, Q1 implies Q2. So that is what one of the essential characteristics of logic programming languages is that semantic, which is called as declarative semantics. So when we use this kind of symbols in the programming, we say it is declarative semantics. Now the meaning we were discussed. The another example you can see here, older John Jake, mother John Jake, wiser John Jake, older John Jake. We were given with some kind of declarative semantics. Now you have to find out the prepositions from this. So how you can find out the preposition? That is, from these prepositions, the following prepositions can be constructed. In the last slide, we come to know about three kind of characteristics of a logic programming. One is, we will be having a preposition. From that preposition, you can generate your own preposition. We just now we discussed in the previous slide, right? So the preposition what I can come across with these two prepositions of what? Wiser John Jake and mother John Jake. So this is what a new preposition. Now I am repeating once again, according to the intrinsic semantic, you may not write whatever semantic I am just giving, you can also come across with your own preposition. Now let's see about the basic elements of Prolog. So this concept has been asked for many times as far as your end semester examinations are concerned. And believe me that there is no question paper without of this concept. When you cross check with few papers of PPL, you will meet this question in the question paper. Now, basic elements of Prolog: terms, fact statement, rule statement, goal statement. These are the four things what we basically find out in the Prolog declarative semantic. So term is what? It is a common element. So when I find a one statement, let's say the statement man is Fred, this is what a declarative semantic in Prolog. This statement, it will be having terms. If you say it is a fact statement, it consists of term. If you say it is a rule statement, it consists of term. Term is a common element which you can identify in each of the statement. Now the difference will come with these three statements. How fact statement will be written using of terms, how rule statement will be written, how goal statement will be written, that differs. Now terms will be the common thing. Now let's understand what is a term. So basically a Prolog term is a constant, maybe it is a variable or it is a structure. So a variable is what? It's a string of letters or digits and underscores that begins with an uppercase letter and underscore 1. This is what actually a variable, what I am talking, it is a term. Now, variables are not bound to type declarations. Now, so here you can understand Prolog is what? Typeless language. So, the language which doesn't have any kind of data type into the instruction part, we say it is typeless language. Prolog you can list under typeless language. And the binding of a value and this type to a variable is called an instantiation. So this is what we learned in the previous lectures of 4th unit, that when you initialize a value to the variable, we say that it is variable instantiation. When you deallocate the memory, then we say it is deinstantiation. Now a constant is either an atom or an integer. So there are two things what we were seeing, right? Term, it can be a constant, it can be a variable. If term is a constant, we said it is an atom or it is an integer. If it is a variable, it can be of a string of letters or words, or it may be a token what you are representing. If it is a constant, it will be an integer. So all the constants we say with the name of atom. Atoms are the symbolic values of Prolog and are similar to their counterparts of Lisp. So whatever atoms we were talking here in the place of integer, now that it can be also included into Lisp. Right, now you can see this is what the syntax of declarative semantic, functor and parameter list. Now, so let's see about Prolog has two basic statements. Basically it is what having Horn classes of mathematics. We'll write all kind of semantics to Prolog based upon these mathematical functions. We say it is our headless and headed Horn clauses. The simplest form of headless Horn clause in Prolog is a single structure which is interpreted as an unconditional assertion or fact. Logically, facts are simply prepositions that are assumed to be true. So these are what about the fundamental ideas of Prolog. Now let's see with an example. So the following simple structure states certain facts about Jake, Shelley, Bill and Mary. Now look at the example. Female Shelley. Now what we have to make a preposition. Shelley is a female. Bill is a male. Mary is female. Jake is male. So these are what the statements, declarative semantics or prepositions which have one parameter. Now look at these four things. These are what with two parameters. Father, Bill, Jake. Now the preposition is what you have to understand. Bill is the father of Jake. So you can make any kind of preposition, but mostly Prolog will take this kind of preposition, making this parameter as the first prior one, that is Bill is the father of Jake. This is what the mostly using of declarative semantic. So the same, Bill is the father of Shelley and Mary is the mother of Jake. Mary is the mother of Shelley. So from this fact statement is what Bill and Mary are the parents. So this is what the new preposition what I can make from the existing prepositions. So this is what we say Prolog rule statements, fact statement, goal statement, how it will be from the existing example. The other basic from Prolog statement for constructing the database corresponds to a headed Horn clause. This form can be related to a known theorem in mathematical. From a conclusion can be drawn if the set of given conditions are satisfied. So we'll even use conjunctions. That is what will make some operators, end operators to say when you given with two kind of statements, if it is true, then it will be also true. If it is not true, then it will get fail. So for that kind of semantic, we use conjunctions and disjunctions. So this is what the way of using the semantic structures in your Prolog. And there is one more thing what you can understand how declarative semantics will be still written. Female Shelley, child Shelley. The general form of the Prolog headed Horn clause statement is consequence antecedent expression. Now it should be read as follows. Consequence can be concluded if the antecedent expression is true or can be made to be true by some instantiation of its variable. So this is the way how this expression should get understood. Now the example is ancestor Mary Shelley, mother Mary Shelley. Now it states that if Mary is the mother of Shelley, then Mary is an ancestor of Shelley. So this is what the consequence you prepared from the existing preposition. Even we can have simple arithmetic in prologue. So you can find here something plus 7 comma 6, plus is what a functor name, 7 comma 6 are what parameters. So here the parameter we given as 7 and this is what x. So x value will get passed in this function. So prologue even follows or even executes not only declarative semantics but also arithmetic operations will perform in prologue. So these are what applications of logic programming: relational database management system, expert system, natural language processing. So this is about prologue. Thank you all.